I'm so happy that finally we meet. So,
We meet when we have to meet.
so how are you? And I'm been following your, posts, your work, and I'm very excited to be in your classroom today and learn everything that you do.
Okay, I don't run a classroom. I think our world is a classroom. We learn.
Absolutely.
You see the plants behind me. You'll hear some birds flying around. You will hear some words, something. So I think everything for us is a classroom. So yes, it's
Absolutely.
fun. I think it's our focus is more not towards learning, but not towards teaching, but learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell us about your, you know, what are you doing in the homeschooling area? Uh, when did you start thinking about homeschooling, and what do you do now?
Okay. So, for us, homeschooling started when my daughter was actually in a regular school.
Mhm.
She was small, I think about three and a half, and she used to attend a regular school, which was really good in the initial years. But at that stage, they were just not able to satisfy her curiosity. So, because of which, she was getting bored in the school. She was where the other children were learning 1 to 10. She wanted to tell 1 to 100. Where other children were starting 1 to 3, she was talking in lakhs and crores. So I
Mm,
understood. And then, unfortunately, because of this, the teachers were not able to handle a child who was advanced academically.
mm,
And I worked with the school for some time. I tried to explain them, but by then I think I had already started looking out for and searching for the homeschooling community and find out
mm,
how we can become a part of it or at least experience homeschooling
mm,
and how to go about it. One thing I would like to say that I was extremely scared. I
mm,
was anxious, scared. I
mm,
had some sleepless nights because it
mm.
was so much against going to the society and what's
Correct.
expected.
Mm,
And on top of that, it was also the thing that I'm a single parent. So,
mm,
will I be able to do it? Will I be able to justify?
mm,
Will I be able to do what we want to do? Was a very scary situation.
mm, mm,
And for us, luckily, it happened that I ended up joining one of the first few sessions of homeschoolers that used to take place. And I'm talking
mm,
about almost 6, 7 years ago,
mm,
and connected with the most amazing families that I have ever met.
mm,
And they were homeschooling their children, doing group activities, learning from each other,
mm,
experiencing from each other, experiencing together. The
mm,
children
mm.
were learning, and we slowly just became a part of the community. And here we are today, part
Mm.
of the most vivacious, active homeschooling community in India.
Mhm.
Um, we're helping parents deal with the many facets of homeschooling
Mm,
and just sharing experiences and
mm,
helping with resources.
mm,
So as we speak, so today, as I can say of in our homeschooling journey where we are today
mm,
is we don't follow a set curriculum
mm,
but a multi curriculum setup.
mm,
I am because of our connections and workings we deal with a lot of resources, teaching tools,
mm,
teaching spaces
mm,
also
mm.
to continue our journey, but we don't depend on any one resource completely.
Correct.
We connect with many people.
Mm,
um, we are doing what interests us most. For my
mm,
daughter, which right now includes wildlife, is something that has always been a big part of her life,
mhm,
rescuing wild animals and being with them. So we are part of helping build a bird park, an oxygen park, restorations,
mhm,
exploring local history.
mm,
Working, she just finished a program for gifted children, which was conducted from the US,
mhm,
a team in state in US, and she was one of the youngest ones to be selected from India. A
mhm,
program which was targeted towards 11th and 12th graders,
mm,
where she met experts from different facets of life, professions around
mm,
the world.
wow,
So it gave us the opportunity to explore, connect.
mm,
Like we connected with the lead designer of one of the largest fashion labels in India, in the world.
mm,
Sorry, she connected with a sports medicine practitioner on and discussed
mm,
how they can come up with equipments
mm,
which are wearable, easy to wear, and
mm,
will help sports medicine practitioners learn more about the sportsmen.
mhm,
And so this is just one of the examples. And then we keep on visiting a number of spaces in Pune to
mm,
learn more of what we
mhm,
can do when it comes to science or biology.
mhm,
It also gives us the flexibility to not focus too much on maths because that
mm,
doesn't cater
mm,
to what we are planning to do,
mhm,
but gives us the focus to learn maths and see it in a different forms.
mhm,
So that's where we are right now,
mm,
exploring,
mm. I
learning,
love the word exploring.
traveling a lot. The exposure and exploring, I think, are the keywords that we work on. I just
Mm,
now actually uploaded a
mm,
blog on my on a website about opportunities, the importance of
mm,
opportunities, and how as facilitators we parents need to step up and figure out where can these opportunities be created,
mm,
and
mhm, mhm,
sharing a couple of examples of what we recently did.
mm. Yeah. So when you
So
say these opportunities, are these because of the community that she's been part of, or are these opportunities solely searched by her or yourself?
it's a mix of both.
Mm-hmm,
The opportunities that we are able to seek today is because of the brilliant exposure we receive from the homeschooling community.
mm-hmm,
And that's where it's kind of the community always helps you to get that initial holding, and then you're free to fly. And that is
mm-hmm,
what is my observation of the Pune homeschooling community and the other families, that we can't be each other's we can't be with each other full time, but we at least give the grounding and the standing to each other to fly
mm-hmm.
and to search your own path. Every family has to search their own path
Correct.
and what works for their family.
True.
Can
Mm-hmm,
someone replicate what I'm doing? Could be possible, could not be possible. But
mm-hmm,
at least I, as an individual, can tell them, okay, this is what is possible to do. Figure out. So, community is definitely, I think, the biggest support system I have. And
mm-hmm,
now we all think we all have reached a stage where we are sharing so much of information from each other that we
mm.
all have become resource connects for each other.
That's very nice thing, no?
And
Community
that's a
learning.
beautiful thing.
Mm.
Yes.
It's like a
And now
ecosystem, no?
it's an ecosystem, of course.
Mm.
And now I think the children have also taken forward their interactions and figuring out how they can work together.
So, when you say this community of homeschooling in Pune, like how big is this community? And do you see like how many active people would be you would say are there?
See, homeschooling families are, I can say that, are very lazy. We are really someone who are very happy doing what we'll spend our energy in what we want to do. So yes, in that sense, everyone is an active member.
Mhm.
And how much of them are they active? And everyone is actively involved in their own journeys, because
Mm,
each story is so different.
mm,
Everyone, and as I say, I can talk about the community as a whole. I think is the most vibrant and a resourceful community. I
mm,
think because also Pune offers a very big advantage in terms of number of resources and the
mm,
distance one needs to travel to access those resources as compared to
mm,
other men.
mhm, mhm,
I know many families who
mm,
chose to come to Pune after the COVID. We have know a lot of people have come back to India. They
mm,
chose to come back to Pune for
mm.
homeschooling their children as compared to other cities.
I mean, many people actually, you won't believe, have told me that if you really want a good community, you should move to Pune for homeschooling, to find that vibe. And there are so many programs that I see in a regular basis, which is happening around Pune. Like resorts are hosting things, jungles and safaris, and so many things. And I think this is going to be. Do you think Pune is the homeschooling capital of India?
I think I can say that now. Yeah, I think I
Uh,
can say that. Yeah.
and I think
Followed by,
if I visit Pune, I don't know how many families will I like to see. I'll go crazy. I
you should,
I
you should
love
come and
meeting.
visit and see how
Hmm.
things are happening, the various spaces, the various options we have. And
Hmm.
it's like, I think you're spoiled for choice now.
Mhm. That's very nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
So you guys are boosting the tourism, Pune tourism actually now.
I don't know about Pune tourism, but definitely just having people and connecting with people. I think there's some amazing work happening. There is a
Mhm.
homeschooling get together coming up in the later part of March.
Hmm.
There are workshops coming up. There are public speaking courses. There is science exhibition that just finished. There
Hmm.
are so many alternate schools in Pune who are helping the homeschooling community. It's not easy for every parent to homeschool their child completely.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there is alternate schools which are stepping in, and everyone is doing some brilliant.
Hmm.
There is a space where someone can go and explore carpentry, or
Hmm.
anything that they want to do, carpentry, electronics, do DIY. At the same
Hmm.
time, we have a space which is of 5 floors of just labs.
Wow.
you know
Hmm.
just labs. It's got everything, right, from innovation lab to
Hmm.
physics lab to chemistry lab, and with teachers, so you can just
Hmm.
block that place and just do what you want to do.
Hmm. Wow. Now this is sounding crazy.
So it is crazy. I
Hmm.
am actually like, we stay in a rural area. So for
Hmm.
me, if I want to go to a carpenter, or I want to go to we just kind of visit so many factories here that it's
Hmm.
doable. Like where I'm sitting right now, at one side there is a paragliding school within a
Hmm.
matter of 30 minutes where we often visit, and on the
Hmm.
other side is a space where they make prosthetic hands.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
if a child, and the other side you have all the Chakan MIDC and places. So yeah,
Hmm.
literally, if someone wants to do good and really go out and seek out those opportunities, there is tremendous, limitless potential in Pune.
That's amazing to hear. And I mean, and actually, the beauty is being surrounded by like-minded community where, it's easy to talk what you want to do, what you are doing, and easy to share. I think that is something which a person or a family who's choosing an alternate path would seek, isn't it? To be able to
Of
speak,
course.
to be able to share, because you're doing something very different from generally what people do. So, tell me, Katika, uh, like generally people when they are seeking for a choice like this, the most the question that they have is how will I support my family in terms of will I have to drop everything to take care of my kids and so because you are a part of a bigger community, so how does what pattern do you see? Do some people ask me, do all the homeschoolers become educators and they drop everything, and then how do they make a living? So what would be your observation around that?
Okay. See, I always say that homeschooling is not about academics, and it is not also about the child.
Hmm.
Homeschooling is a shift in lifestyle for the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And second thing that comes is when the parents are following a career and the individual careers, it comes down to scheduling and planning and prioritizing.
Mm,
And this is possible to do with both the parents. So we have homeschooling families where both the parents have their own respective careers.
mm,
It's a matter of opting homeschooling and how it is going to work for your families,
mm,
and how what are the goals of the family over a long period of time.
mm,
And when they have that clarity, it comes down. Yes, a majority of the parents, families who choose homeschooling, one of the parent is usually completely dedicated to to the child.
mm,
That is one a big factor that they take,
mm,
because it just gives more opportunity to do things with the child.
mm,
If a parent has to be fixed in a school, or in an office space, then if they want to do something different over a time, or in the evening, so going back and forth, taking kids to activities, it can cause an issue, or
mm,
it can become a challenge. I won't call it an issue, but it can become a challenge. But I also know parents who have worked around it.
mhm.
and they are following their individual careers. So homeschooling is less related to academics but more towards lifestyle shift for the entire family, and definitely doable. If I can do it as a single parent, I think any family should be able to at least explore it and give it a chance if they want to homeschool and if
Mhm.
the child is ready to be homeschooled.
Mhm.
It cannot be a
Correct.
parent's decision or the child's decision.
It has to be like a family thing, like you said, it's like a shift, you do it together. It's not about I decide which is the best school and I decide what's trending or something like that. Like, and I think, I don't know, I feel personally that that's how families should work, isn't it? The idea is to work together, even with the kid. Kids are able to make so many decisions on their own, anyways, I think. And they're very smart. They are, when I say smart, they're quite perceptive about things that's happening. And they want to be, I think, I am sure you'll agree that children want to be adults, they want to be responsible, they want to make the call. And
Yeah.
yeah.
See, working with children, I know they want to, and especially when it comes to gifted and high ability children, they
Mm,
they it's not even about a want, but it's a need for them to be able to make major decisions about themselves.
mhm,
And they
mhm,
should have the freedom to do that. They should have the freedom to explore what they need to do and
mhm,
decide what works for them.
mhm,
As parents, then our work comes into of being the
mhm,
support
mhm,
to help them face the consequences.
mhm,
And that I think is a very beautiful thing that I see in the homeschooling community is that we never say no for trying out anything. I think
mhm.
that's one common thread in every homeschooling families. Give it a try.
Correct.
Okay, give it a try.
Mhm,
Get that experience
mhm,
of trying out something new rather than thinking whether it will work or not. Whether it works or not is a separate thing.
mhm,
But one common thing that I've seen is we don't say the homeschooling of we never say no to something. Give it a try.
mhm.
Take your experience, form your own opinions,
Correct. Mhm,
understand how that particular situation
mhm,
made you feel
mhm,
about that particular situation or the people involved
mhm,
is a something I think we all give a lot of emphasis on, at least
mhm,
in our family.
mhm,
At least in our family. So we work on also another aspect that we all kind of bind together is the more we understand ourselves, the
mhm.
more we will be able to understand the world.
So true.
and and that is something that we so many parents, educators, experienced homeschoolers, unschoolers, they are doing so many workshops to help families, individuals in understanding yourself and loving yourself to be able to understand the external world.
Mhm. And which never happens generally in a traditional system. You never get a chance, basically. You are running out of time all the time for every activity, for everything. You're always running out of time. You don't get to reflect. You don't have the option to ask, am I enjoying this? If not, then what? You have to do it. I think that's where after 23 or 24, that build up that happens over period of time, it just breaks on you because you're not able to handle your mental health, you're not able to handle because you never had the time to understand yourself. And when you don't, I think, like you said, when you don't have when you never get to experience yourself, you're so scared of yourself. You want to be with a lot of people, you want to try things, you don't want to be left out, people are scared to stay alone. And I think all this stems from that, because that's how the system has created that kind of a pressure on you, that even understanding yourself, or even it's like you feel like you have a FOMO. Why am I left out? Right, those things happen with especially young people. So you must be seeing that there is a, in your experience, a range of people, age group of kids with different ages. So, what would you say, like, when people start generally homeschooling, it's that many parents are doing it for younger kids, but when the kids grow, and they might choose to do very different things. So how do you suggest that people should handle it? And are you seeing a pattern that are these kids who are being homeschooled or unschooled, are they, what kind of things they are getting? Are they getting choosing colleges? What is your observation? Are they finding their businesses? Do you have any experience or any idea about it that you would like to share?
Now, I'll answer your question in parts. First
Mm-hmm.
is the level at or the stage at which parents start homeschooling their children. Now that is itself a huge thing. We see um, people who are saying that we are homeschooling our toddlers also, but then at that stage they're anyways homeschooled. Most of the toddlers
Mm,
learn at home. So we
correct.
are seeing parents choosing a very conscious decision to homeschool their children from at every age.
Mm,
It's the I receive queries at for parents of all age groups now.
mm,
So technically, by the time a child enters 6 7 years is the time that is they see that they enter a school.
mm,
There are also families who do back and forth. So the child is in a traditional school, they take them out, they send them for some time, they bring them out. A lot of parents who choose the 10th and the 12th, the formative, the big
mm,
exams, are those whose children want to either pursue something else
mm,
or want to just get away from the pressure of too many subjects to be studied,
mm,
or they want to
mm,
mix subjects. Like for example, if you go to a regular 11th or 12th, you can only take art, science, commerce. The
mm,
NEP is still not implemented. What if a
mm,
child wants to study maths and psychology?
mm,
That is the freedom that is available to homeschoolers.
mm,
And that is the beauty of the systems we have, whether it's Cambridge exams or IGCSE private candidates, or for that matter, NIOS.
mhm,
We all recommend NIOS because it has little bit of more, you know, advantage over the other boards in terms of being a private candidate because they have a blanket equivalency in India with all colleges, all
mm,
undergraduate courses, all universities.
mhm,
So that's where the the decision to step into homeschooling
mm,
is very family specific, very child specific, very situation specific.
mhm,
And a lot of parents are also opting for schooling at home, which is like joining online schools. So they
mm,
get the advantage of a child having a routine,
mm,
but at the same time having the flexibility and the time to do what they want to do.
mm,
So I think the number of options available are a lot, and that's why parents reach out to me to understand which option will work for them.
mm,
And that itself is something. It's a process in itself where they need to reach out to other parents, read about it,
mm,
go through the material available online,
mm,
and just interact with people, interact with information, do your own research. So it's
mm,
multiple levels of information gathering that needs to happen to decide when to step into homeschooling.
mhm, mhm.
That is the first
Mm,
part of it. Second, where do homeschool children? I know homeschool children are everywhere in the world now.
mm,
Okay, that is first. Second, I personally know that a lot of major companies are allowing homeschoolers to even come in without the necessary certificates. They need to show their portfolio, and they are accepting the portfolio. We also have spaces in Pune which are offering practical experience while pursuing undergraduate courses. And students are actually working on real life problems, real
mm,
life industry problems too, as an assignments.
mhm,
I know children who completed the NIOS, they are in IITs, they are abroad. We even actually in Pune have third generation homeschoolers.
mhm.
Even if you see in my family, my mother was homeschooled for a part of her childhood.
Wow. Mm,
I always say that I was educated. I attended a full time school, but I was educated outside the school
mhm,
because
mhm,
of my background and my father being in the army and the exposure we got. So
mhm,
that I'm extending the same thing to my daughter. But there were
Mm,
some parents who reached out, who discussed during our discussions that we are homeschooling our child because we don't want them to face the challenges we faced in our childhood.
correct. Mm,
That is one of the biggest things, that the
mm,
pressure that we have gone through, and
mm,
we don't want our children to go through that.
mm-hmm. True.
So every family has such unique factors that play on them and the situation that they choose. But yes, one thing for sure, that homeschool children are not at any disadvantage when compared to a regular student.
Mm-hmm.
They are at par. They are at the same level. The upbringing and the environment and the exposure that the homeschooling children receive are
Mm,
slightly more because they get some little bit of more time.
correct.
Otherwise, I think they are at par with every possible
Mm.
student.
Mm. Thank you so much for sharing this, because I think these are general, very general doubts that people have. Because, and I think also it's about, once you get past that fear of, what will I do? What will happen? I think that's a
Mm.
kind of a fear, like when you're transitioning, especially. And then once you are out of that fear, I think it's you and your child and that journey, that you start watching it so closely, that I think a lot of stress or whatever in the background gets blurred automatically, because now you're so focused. That happened with me as well, because once I was into that transition and I understood it can work no matter how it's going to work. And then when you get that sense of I don't know, confidence or whatever you might call it, and then you know that yes, you can do it.
Yeah, I think more than the sense of confidence, I think is the sense of ease.
Mm,
That I am that the sense of being able to breathe and
mm,
focus your energy, time, money on things that you really like doing.
mhm, mm. Correct, correct.
That focus shift when that happens, I think that's why we say that we all, when a new family is, steps into homeschooling, we always say, please de-school for 6 to 12 months.
Mm,
Don't jump into homeschooling or anything. You need to give the breathing space to
mm,
each and every family member to adjust to a new routine or a new way of life.
mhm,
So it's I think that focus shift now, and sometimes the focus shifts to being able to just focus on nothing.
mhm.
That itself is also an aspect of it, which is another beautiful thing to
That's
experience.
an art. That's an art.
Yeah, it's an art. It's an experience. I think it's like jumping in a swimming pool. You have to jump into it to feel it. Tab tak you will
Yeah,
not be able to understand, no matter
yeah.
what anyone tells you.
Mm, that's
So
right. That's.
as I go back to how I started, and how scared I was to homeschool my
Mm,
daughter, and it was a very scary situation because
mm,
the pressure on you is so much. But then I cannot explain it to a parent who is not even thinking about homeschooling.
mm,
But I can share and I can relate to a parent who is going through that aspect or that phase right now, whether to take out the child from regular school or not.
mm,
What will happen? What will society say? What will I answer?
mm.
बच्चे पूछेंगे तो क्या होगा, बड़े पूछेंगे तो क्या क्या होगा, घर के चाचा मामी दादा दाऊ सब क्या पूछेंगे, उनको क्या आंसर करना. So that I think is a larger, I think that pressure is more than actual the doing the homeschooling.
I know. It's always the society, and because we have been, that's how we were raised. That's how our parents have always compared us with other people, and it all comes down, boils down to all those things. And just like I said, once you are past that, it just doesn't matter. If
It
to
just doesn't
anybody
matter.
who's listening, they will know this. And
Yes, actually,
with
and they actually start coming on board. That's something that I
mm,
realized when we are strong and we say no, what we are doing is brilliant, and over time they start seeing whether they see or not. But I have noticed a lot of people actually come on board, and they
mhm,
start becoming like an extension of what you are doing.
mhm, correct.
So I
Uh,
think that's a huge change I'm seeing.
mm. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what would be the message that you would like to leave before we wrap this up? But everything that you said, it's like a takeaway message for me, at least, because because had I been found you like maybe a couple of years back, my anxiety would have been lesser, I think. So I think
I just
that's
say we connect when we connect.
Yeah,
There's
and
always a
so
time for
and I think that you are setting a path of for many people. You're there helping, guiding so many people already. And thank you so much for sharing, with your everything from your heart, because I think many people will be on this journey now and tomorrow. And because I think it's a it's something that people have always wanted to do, and they needed guidelines. And because you always want to read that story, that one story, that one whatever, one small video that tells you that yes, I will do it. For
it.
you, who was that? Would you like to share before we wrap this up, if you remember?
For me, I think it was the first set of families that I met in the first month of being in Pune.
Mm-hmm.
The interactions we had, the connections I could form, the comfort level I had, and they taught me one basic. Um, I think the line for us, on which we work, that we need to understand that learning does not need to happen around an exam.
Mm-hmm.
The learning and exams don't go together.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on learning, exams will follow. Whenever you need, it can happen. It's a requirement of the system, but the learning does not need to happen around an exam. And I think that's my point, my closing statement for all parents, that
Mm-hmm.
focus on learning, not on exams.
Thank you so much for sharing this. And thank you for being here, Ketika. And please share with us all the links so that we can put it and people will find you no matter where you are. Thank you so
Definitely,
much. Thank
definitely.
you so much for being
Thank you,
here.
Priyanka. Thank you so much for having me, and it was lovely chatting to you.
Same here, Ketika. See you then. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.